think that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, it is now 3:05 p.m. on August 14th, 2025, and I'm calling to order the meeting of the Recycled Water Committee, a committee of Monterey One Water. We're here in the boardroom at 5 Harris Court, Building D, Monterey, California, 93940. And we have three committee members. Oh, actually, I'll just ask for a roll call.
Pacific Grove,
Here.
Veranda,
Here.
Castroville, Marina Coast,
Here.
Monterey. We have a quorum.
Okay, so we have three members of the committee present, and I'll ask at this time if there, Mr. Shudo, are there any additions to the agenda?
No additions, no changes.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and move on to item 4, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
Motion and a second on the floor. Take a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. We'll move on to item 5. This is general public comment. Anyone wishing to address the committee on matters not appearing on the agenda today may do so now. Comments must be under the jurisdiction of our agency. And do we have any general public comments? There is no one in chambers for the record from the public, and there are 4 attendees. Okay, I see no public comment. We'll bring it back to the board. We'll go to item 6. 6A, consider approval of Recycled Water Committee minutes of July 17th, the last meeting.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Hibino, second by Moore. We'll take a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. That's item 6A. This is item 6B. Chair Williamson has joined us for the record for the meeting. We're at item 6B, and we're going to hear an update on Pure Water Monterey.
Good
And
afternoon.
I'll turn it over to Mr. Lindow.
Good afternoon, Chair Smith, committee members. While the slides are coming up, I'll mention something about water production, water recharge. So we're at 19,300 acre feet to date. July was a very strong month at 314 acres recharged. And while I haven't been in front of you since May, you've probably been informed that the close of the water year at the end of June was another 3,500 acres delivered, meeting the obligations. 4th full water year in a row. M1W achieved that. And 164 acre feet went into reserves. So the current reserve balance is 2,353 acre feet. During that same water year, Marina Coast retailed 433 acre feet to the golf courses, and their July was 69 acre feet. So the start of their water year is also looking strong. So on expansion, again, quick reminder, we have 2 construction packages. AWPF expansion, which started construction in August of 2023, and Jackson Well Phase 4, which started construction in October of 2023. Next slide, please. The AWPF expansion, that $17.7 million packages, is now at 92% complete. Humming along, hitting a slow part of the track, if you will. The startup process is slow. We'll get into that a little bit more. Next slide, please. And really the startup process, that what the contractor does is they start up each process unit separately. And then once each process unit has been started up, next slide, please. Then they start them up all together into what we call a 7-day water quality test. The definition of substantial completion for this package is successful completion of that 7-day water quality test. There's still other functional testing that happens after that. There'll be punch list items, etc. But right now, this project, and we'll get into the schedule, they're going to need even a little more time than I explained in May as they work their way through the individual process units. Let's move on to injection well phase 4. One exciting highlight, on June 10th, that final connection you can see up at the Black Horse Reservoir. Where's my cursor? Up there, Black Horse Reservoir, where the red meets the blue. We finally made that tie-in. And then about 3 weeks ago, the water started flowing through that entire loop. So that's a big deal for the Pure Water Monterey distribution system. There's also an immediate benefit that the existing wells started seeing more pressure at the wellhead. That will also improve injection on the existing wells. Next slide, please. This is an engineering nerds slide to show you what that hot tap, how that connection is made without interrupting service. That was pretty exciting. Again, it was done basically in one day. You know, we had some easement issues, lost a little time with that, but we've caught up since then. Next slide, please. Okay, so here's the finished product now. So this is one of the two new deep wells. It's Associated Electrical Controls building. We are now entering, on Monday, we started final functional testing of injection well phase 4. When we get into the schedule, you'll see that AWPF has slowed down enough that it's actually now going to be finished after injection well phase 4. So we're taking this win. We're celebrating this. They think they'll be done by the 25th of August, which is the original date in their contract, which started back in October of 2023. Next slide, please. So this is what functional testing looks like. You might say, well, what are all those guys standing around doing? Well, when you're starting up $5 million worth of infrastructure, which is kind of what you see over at that wellhead, the pump guy needs to be there, the valve guy needs to be there, the well guy, everyone who has a specialized piece of equipment is there while it's started up, partly to protect their interests, partly they want to make sure that the general contractor doesn't mess it up and everything is, plugged in properly. And of course, the M1W guys are there also. But of course, since this is their 5th and 6th wells, they're probably the smartest guys on site. So, you can't really tell what's going on sometimes, but this is an important part of the project. Let's finish off with the schedule, if we could. So again, if you zoom in there, again, focusing on the injection well phase 4, the green activity lines. So where we say we're ready to inject on August 25th. So I use that very specifically. So we don't have our permit yet to inject. We're doing testing. We're playing with every single new toy, every new valve, every pump, etc. And we could, if we had our permit, originally our permit was going to be available a lot sooner, but it looks like injection well phase 4, and when we're here at the full board meeting on the 25th, hopefully we'll give you final confirmation that the biggest dollar piece of expansion will be done. If you look at the blue activity lines for AWPF expansion, the contractors asked for another 2 months, and they're now saying they'll be substantially complete on September 22nd. So AWPF, which was going to be done earlier, is now going to be done a month after injection well phase 4. If you read the staff report, what we highlight is, well, we're not getting our new permit until October 9th or 10th. So the total critical path, and this has been the case for about 9 months, is still the permitting. Okay.
And Dave, if I can just chime in there, I had the opportunity to meet with the executive officer of the regional board last week. And he mentioned best guess is it will be on Thursday, October 9th. And I intend to go down there for that meeting when they approve the permit, just to answer any questions or frankly to show a face. He was fairly positive that it would go that day because it's a light agenda.
Can he put it on the consent agenda?
Make it even easier.
I mean, if you know this guy.
Well, I guess I could have made a bet.
It's very nice that the regional board has been such a supporter of the expansion.
Yeah.
They've drafted up the permit that will hopefully be adopted in October. That permit is out for public comment right now. And you may remember when we had a public hearing in this room for the engineering report relative to the same permit, we had no public comments for that event. And so far, and this comment period doesn't end until August 22nd. So far, we again have not gotten any significant public comments. There's a lot of interagency discussions, how are things going to work, et cetera, but everything is still a green light go. So with that, I'll hand it back to the committee if there are questions.
Committee questions? Any? Okay. Well, it's great news. I'm glad to hear October 9th and getting closer to completing this project. That's really great. All right. Go move on to item 6C. Who is up? We'll have Johanna Vargas present on item 6C.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. Johanna Vargas, Grants and Contracts Administrator. Now we presenting this item. The State of California Energy Commission has released round 2 of the Community Energy Reliability and Resilience Investment Program. The intent of this program is to invest in projects that increase the electric reliability and resilience of communities in California. Monterey One Water is pursuing this funding to support the Monterey Renewable Energy and Utility Reliability Program. If awarded, it will fund the costs associated with the interconnection of electrical systems of Monterey One Water Regional Treatment Plant, the Salinas Valley Reclamation Project at the Advanced Water Purification Facility with an estimated cost of $7.5 million. As part of the grant application, the applicant must submit an applicant declaration form, which was attached to the report, and a match funding commitment letter. All of that. The resolution attached to the staff report authorizes the executive office to sign the applicant declaration form and the match commitment letter and submit the grant application. We submitted an application to the round 1 of this program, and we placed on 3rd. Only the top 2 applicants received funding at that time. Following that round, we met with the CEC staff to gain a clear insight as to how we can improve our application and address the specific areas that we're needing further details. With these improvements in place, we believe our application is now well positioned for round 2 of this program. Fiscal impact, there is no fiscal impact at this time. If the grant is awarded, we will bring the contracts to the board for approval. Recommended action that the Recycled Water Committee recommend that the board adopt a resolution authorizing the executive officer to act as the authorized agent for and on behalf of Monterey One Water to execute the applicant declaration form and match commitment letter for the Community Energy Reliability and Resilience Investment Program. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any committee questions on this one? Yes.
Just one quick
Sure.
question. So we're looking for funding for a project that will cost us 7.5 million, right? Is this grant, what's the likelihood this grant would cover all 7.5 million, or what's the range of possibilities?
So we are submitting the application for the full 7.5 million. We might get the full agreement, but we do have some match requirements.
But it's likely to be somewhat under that as they distribute the funds, right?
Yes. I mean, we will submit for the full amount, but it depends on how much funding is available and what the other applications that were submitted.
So even though we put in for the 7.5, assuming we get this, like if we're in the top 2, you could probably, I mean, we should be ecstatic for 4.
Correct.
Just to put that in perspective, if that was your question.
No, good. Thank you very much.
Further questions? All right, we'll go out to the public. Item 6C. If anyone online wishes to comment on item 6C, go ahead and do so now, or let us know. Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board for action.
Move approval. Second.
Motion by Williamson, second by Moore. Any further discussion?
I was just wondering why Mike McCullough didn't comment on this since he knows so much about grants. Anyway.
There you go. Discussion closed. Okay, we'll take a voice vote on that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And we'll go to item 6D.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Chairman Smith and members of the committee. Jose Guzman, Operations Manager at Monterey One Water. On August 28th, 2023, the board approved chemical procurement contracts for the Advanced Water Purification Facility. The contracts were executed for a 1-year term, which expired in September 2024. The contract agreements allow Monterey One Water the option in its sole discretion to extend the term of each agreement for 3 additional 1-year terms with any increases based on the producer price index for the commodity for chemicals and allied products, but not to exceed 10%. In August of 2024, the board approved the first one-year extension, the First Amendment, with no increase in cost, which will expire in September of 2025. Brenntag Pacific and Univar have agreed to a second extension, a Second Amendment, to the contracts for an additional one-year term with no increase in cost. These chemicals are included in the fiscal year 25-26 budget, totaling $1,048,500. The total cost for the new procurement of these chemicals will be for a total not to exceed cost of $823,340.78. I also want to inform the committee that I will be bringing forward 3 additional contracts for approval as action items, and that is for sulfuric acid, sodium hydroxide, and hydrogen peroxide. Unfortunately, after a lot of negotiation and back and forth, Monterey One Water and the current suppliers could not come to an agreement on extension terms. So we did get approval to bring those as action items for this month's meeting. So staff requests that the Recycle Water Committee recommend that the board approve a Second Amendment to Brenntag Pacific for calcium chloride and sodium bisulfite in a not to exceed amount of $459,538.28, and to Univar Solutions for sodium hypochlorite in the not to exceed amount of $362,802.50 for the advanced water purification facility for a total not to exceed amount of $823,340.78. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Any committee questions on this? All right, we'll take it out to the public. Anyone online in the public wishing to address item 6D? Seeing none, return to the committee for
Move approval.
action. Thank you. Motion on the floor, Moore, second by Albino. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a voice vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Mr. Guzman, for keeping us rolling with our chemicals, and staff for working to get those other items forward. And at this time, I'll recognize Mr. Shudo for staff reports.
Thank you, Chair Smith. And I just wanted to build on what Jose was saying, because what you just approved was a no increase amendment for a year, which is pretty phenomenal in these times. And as he mentioned, don't be surprised when he's going to bring others to you that have more open-ended terms because of what is happening in the industry. So I mentioned meeting with Ryan Lodge last week. It was great to, I used to do a much better job of heading down to San Luis Obispo or trying to coordinate getting together with the executive officer. It's good just to meet each other face to face and see what's going on. Last week had an opportunity to meet with Sean McGuire, who is a board member of the State Water Resources Control Board. So it's also nice to see what's going on at the state level and just share work that we both have moving forward that are going to intersect. And then lastly, I wanted to bring up with you, you should be seeing in your emails in the, I guess tomorrow's Friday. I was gonna say this week, maybe early next week, invitations to a Pure Water Monterey expansion ribbon cutting, which will be in October. So just October 2nd is what we're shooting for. Things are being finalized in terms of date and time and stuff like that. But just want to make sure you have that on your respective calendars. Tammy?
I don't have any.
Matt?
Yeah, just a brief report. This is really to build upon the item that Johanna presented. The project that we're pursuing grant funding for is also referred to as the microgrid, right? If we can interconnect these 3 plants, we'll have the ability to supply power from a variety of sources to all 3 plants. One of those new supplies of power is a project called Renewable Energy Improvements. You may recall we had awarded a design contract to Black & Veatch to get going on design of that project for us. I'm just reporting that we are now 30% complete with with that design. It's a nice milestone. We're moving towards having a 60% complete design by November. And recall, this is a project which is eligible for federal low interest WIFIA financing. And so that's really nice to have that nailed down, because we can go forth with confidence that we can go right into bidding and construction when these plans and specifications are complete in the spring of 2026. And so it makes sense at this point that we start getting a construction manager involved. And so I just wanted to give you a preview that we have been soliciting proposals from professional construction management firms, and we'll be coming to you in September with a recommendation to hire that construction manager a little bit early to help us with what we call pre-construction services. So that's my only report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Committee reports? Anybody? Any takers? Okay. Well, thanks again for getting us ready for this meeting and for all the work you do every day. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
You got a couple minutes?
What's that? Oh, yeah.